My parents made me pay rent at 16, while my brother lived free until 28. I started working at a diner when I was 16, not because I wanted extra cash for concerts or clothes, because my parents sat me down on my birthday and said I needed to contribute $400 a month. For a teenager making minimum wage, that was brutal. I'd work doubles on weekends, come home smelling like grease and coffee, and hand over half my paycheck before I could even think about saving for a car or college. Meanwhile, my brother Kyle graduated college at 22, moved back home, and paid nothing. Zero. He'd sleep until noon, play video games in the basement, order DoorDash on Dad's credit card. I'd come home exhausted from my shift and he'd be on the couch eating Thai food, asking me to keep it down because he was in the middle of a raid. When I asked my parents why he didn't have to pay rent, Mom said, "He's still finding himself. You've always been more independent. We don't want to stress him out while he's job hunting." Job hunting. He sent out maybe 5 applications in 6 months. The rest of the time he was networking, which apparently meant playing Call of Duty with his college friends and posting on LinkedIn about hustle culture. Dad would defend him at dinner. "The job market's tough right now. He needs time to find the right fit." But when I asked for help with community college tuition, Dad said I should take out loans like everyone else. I moved out at 19, got my own apartment, worked full-time while finishing my degree at night. It took me 7 years to graduate because I was paying for everything myself. No help, no safety net. I didn't complain because I thought that's what being an adult meant. Meanwhile, Kyle stayed home, rent-free, until he was 28. He finally moved out last year when his girlfriend landed a job in another state and basically dragged him out of our parents' basement. 2 weeks after Kyle left, my parents called a family meeting. I drove over on a Tuesday night thinking maybe they wanted to celebrate something or just catch up now that the house was finally empty. Instead, Dad had a folder on the kitchen table. Financial documents, plans for a condo in a 55-plus community near the beach. "We're ready to downsize," Mom said, smiling. "Start the next chapter." I was happy for them, thought maybe retirement would be good. Then Dad slid a paper across the table, a breakdown of costs, down payment, closing fees, moving expenses. He looked right at me. "We figured you could chip in $15,000. You've been doing well with your career, and this would really help us get into the place we want." I stared at the number, $15,000. I asked what Kyle was contributing. Mom's smile faltered. "We haven't asked him yet. He's still getting settled in the new city, and his girlfriend's job doesn't pay that well. We didn't want to pressure him right now." Of course they didn't. I sat there for a moment, feeling that old familiar weight in my chest. The same feeling I'd had at 16 when they told me I had to pay rent. The same feeling at 19 when they said no to helping with tuition. Kyle gets a decade of free housing, free food, free everything, and I get asked to bankroll their retirement dream. I pulled out my phone and opened the calculator app right there at the table. Typed in $400, multiplied by 12 months, then by 10 years. The number glowed on the screen. $48,000. I turned the phone around so they could see it. "This is what I paid in rent from age 16 to 26, I said calmly. "Kyle paid zero for 12 years. That's $57,600 in free housing at the same rate, not counting inflation or the fact that he ate more and used more utilities than I ever did as a teenager." Dad's face went red. He tried to argue that rent wasn't the same as a gift, that I was being petty and holding on to old grudges. Mom said I was twisting things, that they'd treated us both fairly in different ways. I stood up and grabbed my keys. "I already gave you my down payment over 10 years. Kyle can pay you back his 12 years of free housing for his share. They haven't asked me for money since."